Thank you very much. Honorable Chair, I would say that with all due difference, that what I came here to do is merely to raise issues. I cannot claim to have solutions or answers to some of the issues. So if I have succeeded in getting us to begin to think or tinker with certain things, my own objective has been achieved. I cannot say that I have solutions to all of these issues, but let's engage in a conversation. That's the key point for me. I'm not claiming my position is superior to that of anybody. I've not said so. But I'm modestly saying that we need to begin to engage these issues, not because of sentiments, not because of some parochial interest, not because of political correctness, but because we want to drive this nation forward. If the way to drive the nation is the way some people have suggested, I don't have any problem. If that is what is acceptable to Nigerians, I don't have any problem. But the key point for me is that we should not stop discussion. In fact, the discussion should start now. In the context of that, I would just like to raise three key issues, not necessarily taking the questions in the order because they've been raised. Number one is to say that we must not think that politics can only be played within the sphere and arena created by partisan politics and politicians. To that extent, my big auntie, Mr. Ansonkochi, I'm saying that there's so much elitism that animates the politics of the middle class in this country. No, I don't want to go near, but I'll sit in my bedroom, watch television, and do armchair criticism. We don't want to take that major step that can make a difference and make all the difference. And this is what our political elite take advantage of in this country. You know what? Let them keep criticizing. We keep doing what we have to do. So long they criticize and they don't come near. It's just as okay. You see, we are the ones actually those who have ideas that will move this country forward because of our reticence, because of our indifference, because of our apolitical nature. That is why things have gotten to where they are today. I'm sorry to say, and I'm also indicting myself in this whole process. Second point that I want to make is that when people talk about restructuring and all that, for me, the fundamental issue that is leading to all these accusations and counter-accusations, animosity and all that, and the crisis of legitimacy that Professor Akintola talked about, is the whole question of the fact that there is no justice. It's the whole problem of justice, inclusiveness, representation, and equity. These are the cardinal concepts and issues that are involved. And if we can begin as a people, as a country, come to the drawing board, go back to the drawing board, and put these issues on the table and address them, I mean, we can go somewhere. We can go somewhere because there is lack of access to a lot of people. There is alienation of a lot of people. Even the kind of political system that we run, the structure of the political system we run in this country, will never allow for majoritarian rule. Will never allow for women, and by majoritarian rule, I'm not talking about ethnicities. I'm talking about women and youth. Women are in demographic majority in this country, but they're a political minority. Isn't that a contradiction? Yet, nobody's posing the women question as a fundamental issue to be addressed. But can our current structure of power, based on the electoral principle of first past the post, can it address that problem? It cannot. Yet, we're talking about this restructuring and this whatever and so forth and so on. Now, Comrade Abishani made the point that you can talk about this restructuring. If restructure, because you can see there are various opinions of what constitutes restructuring. So let us not think, and like my mommy here, Dr. Oshika said, Dr. Oshika said there are various opinions and viewpoints and perspectives on restructuring. So it means that there's even no consensus of what constitutes restructuring. For President Buhari, it is constitution. For some, it's regionalism. For others, it's resource control. For others, it's ethnic irredentism and self-determination, etc., etc. But the key point is this. What Dr. Borisha is saying is this, or what question is posing is this. If you are talking about restructuring that simply has a weak center and then fiscal powers and all that to withstand and whatever, without questioning the nature of the power relations that exist, you may well have ended up merely reproducing the same form of despotism and oligarchs and hegemons that you have at the federal level. That is the point he has made. And I think we should not know that. So I think when we are talking about restructuring, therefore, based on what people are saying here, let us intercept so many variables to say that restructuring either on the principle of fiscal federalism, regionalism, resource control, or whatever, should be intercepted with the principle of equity, access, justice, and other principles. Because if they do not come with these other variables, you discover that just like you have with state creations, look, what is happening in Plateau State? I've seen many students who have studied it. You have made one ethnic group a minority by the creation of Nasarawa State from Plateau State. And that ethnic group, by being a minority, is now looking for how it can keep afloat. And this is where it is today. It has landed us with the local government election in Just Not. The same thing with Yobe State, where Hausas are a minority. Is that okay? By virtue of state creation that created Yobe out of Borno State and so on. And then you are now reproducing new forms of social problems for these communities and societies defined by power relation. So state creation has solved one problem, then the process has created more complex problems. Old majorities have become new minorities in other states that were created. How are you dealing with that sociological problem? You see, so that's why I'm saying we should not take a very simplistic disposition to 1914. Because like Professor Nuzzi said, I saw him a while ago, there is no nation, even if you want to have a uni-ethnic entity, like you have in Rwanda and Burundi. Is that okay? It can still degenerate to genocide, so long there's no justice and equity. That is what the Rwandan genocide of April 1994 tells us. That even if you're a mono-religious, mono-ethnic, uni-ethnic nation, sharing everything, like you have between the Tutsis and the Hutus, if there's no justice, equity, and access, it can degenerate to civil war, in which 800,000 souls were killed in less than 4 months. So let us be very careful about this. So to conclude, my own view is that let us believe that there's a Nigerian project. I believe in it, and that's how I started out with. But let us not say that we can sustain it at all costs. Let us say that to keep the union stronger, we should look at those things that unite us rather than divide us. And those things that unite us, let us put them in a portmanteau and say, you know what, these are troubling issues. These troubling issues, these gray areas, we should all sit down and address them with mutual respect, equal citizenship, and fair-mindedness. If we do not take this approach to these issues, we will continue to move in circle. This was what happened since 1951, and we are still here today, still talking about the same thing. And if we are not careful, in the next half a century, we'll still be talking about it. And small banana republics will be sending people to the sun, doing great things, winning Nobel Prizes and all that. And Nigeria will still be dealing with mundane issues and dealing with a Bunsen burner and all the mundane things that we have in our laboratories all over. I keep telling somebody I'm worried that apart from Nobel Prize in literature, we are not likely to produce Nobel Prize in anything in the next 50 years. Because our country is set back and we are not realizing this. And we are allowing ourselves to be preoccupied with all the wrong things. And it really bothers me. Because it is the kind of country I want to bequeath to my own son. And when he grows up, what am I going to say to him? And that is where I think finally the whole question about mobilizing becomes very important. Sensitizing people to the right issues. What are the real issues that are developing this country? What are the real issues that are bringing this country down? bringing backwardness to this country and shame to this country. And how are we going to really address them, no matter whose us is God? This for me are the kinds of issues I'm willing to engage in. But otherwise, I want to rest my position accordingly.
Thank you very much.